There now follows a party political broadcast on behalf of the Labour Party.
Like most people, I have a mortgage and I have a family to support, so it's been very important to me that I have had job security, and unfortunately that hasn't always been the case. About 8 years ago, my company went through restructuring and shed 24% of the workforce in this area, and that was a very hard time for members because they didn't know if they would have a job in 3 months' time. I believe the union was very important to members at that time. It varied from area to area what the activists did. In the North East we actually did courses in the local civic centre for all members in the area to help them with interview skills, and most of the members hadn't had a job interview for 20 years. They had no idea what to expect. So what we did is we put them through a day's training on interview skills and how to prepare for the sort of questions that would be asked. We did get very good feedback from that, and thankfully most of our members kept their jobs. I think we've seen massive differences in the North East since 1997. Prior to that we were very much in decline. There was a lot of poverty, a lot of unemployment. There is still some poverty and there is still some unemployment, but things are so much better now. We may not always get the jobs we want with the best salaries that we want, but at least there are jobs for people leaving school. I can remember when well-educated people were on the dole for 2 years after they left school because there was no jobs for them, and that's not that long ago. My son left his college and got straight into work. You know, some people weren't that lucky.
I started with this firm 20 years ago this year. When I first started, it was a closed shop. It was a total. The union had total 100% membership. That's how you had to have a job. You had to have union membership to get in. Under the Tory government, they abolished that. They abolished the right to work closed shop, and it seemed that people dropped out of trade unions. You didn't have the protection that you had before, because there's less union members in the union at that time. We didn't have as much input into things that the company wanted to introduce. So I think since Labour have got in, yes, things have improved. We have got increased membership. Things have started to move. The management are speaking to us, and we're starting to pull together, and it's better. We're trying to make the workforce a better place to go into. And that wouldn't happen under a Tory government. Definitely wouldn't happen under a Tory government.
Amicus within the workplace leads a very prominent role with this. I myself am chair of staff side within the Newcastle Hospitals Trust and an Amicus rep. One of the major improvements that we're working on in this trust is improving working lives, and being an Amicus rep and pushing improving working lives throughout the trust, we do get concessions for flexible working, for childcare benefits and all that. It is with partnership within the trust, with both the management, but as an Amicus rep we have that representation there to push their agenda. The Warwick Agreement, it's a socialist agenda which we believe only a Labour government would be able to implement. We believe that if it was changed to a Tory government we would not get any concessions which are in the Warwick Agreement. During the Tory regime, working in the NHS as I have for the last 30 years, when the Tories were in power, it was a constant struggle. The Labour government's done a real good job on getting the finances of the country back in track, and we wouldn't like to see that go down the pan. Complacency is a big thing within the next election, and I would urge everybody that's a Labour supporter to go out and vote Labour.
For more information about James Alexander and the Labour Party, please visit www.time-for-change.org.uk.